So many people are exhausted from hyper performance, manifestation noise, overconsumption of information, identity confusion, which all stems from one root, and that is the constant need for self optimization. Of course, you are exhausted when you are constantly picking your life apart to find the things that you do not have, while only ever anticipating on a moment of becoming something in the future instead of just being you in the only thing that is real, and that is the eternal now. The past and the future are not in the now. So what are we doing there? Yeah, that's absolute buffoonery. So today we are going to put an end to that. Because if all of that worked, why is it that so many people secretly feel spiritually dissociated right now? I think it's where we end up when we have consumed too much knowledge, too much perspective without enough embodiment. I will make a separate video about this, but I've been reflecting on a couple of things. I've been checking in with myself, and there were some things that definitely needed some attention. Why is that funny? I say that to say this: things go so fast, and certain patterns will always try to find a way back to us. So that's why we gotta stay sharp. Sharp like a knife, baby. As long as we are consistently connecting everything back to purpose, embodiment, and conscious reality creation through aligned expression, that is what closes the gap. Whoa, why so intense? The gap. Let's close the gap for once. There's nothing new required other than becoming aware of your distortion patterns. Not to become more, but to remove interference, all that you are not. So first, let's digest some spiritual fast food to create some space within our ecosystem. First of all is an illusion, everything is a mirror of yourself. That is where this whole channel is about. The quality of your inner space determines the quality of your life, how you relate to existence. And we all have access, the potential to remember our own power. But not everyone will. And that's unfortunate. But it's none of our business. No, why do you have to say it like that? There's nothing much we can do about it other than making sure that we do the work to remember who the fuck we are, walking in our truth so we can become a light for those who are also ready to remember. So let's get into it. Back to the story. It has become quite popular within the spiritual community, but I don't agree with the whole narrative that we are co-creators. We don't create shit. Creation is finished. We are moving parts around in that what is already created by our creator. But it's about observing, consciousness selecting, interpretation and aligning rather than generating. So if you have ever wondered, that's why I say we are sub-creators. But back to the story. Sometimes you have to go a little bit deeper. People that scream it's all your fault, everything is a mirror, or just work harder, manifest harder, they have no idea. Luckily for them, they are baby souls with pink glasses on. Everyone has a story. Everyone goes through difficulties in life. But there are absolute levels to this shit. Okay? Apart from my own story, I've worked with a lot of people. And the things that some people have to go through are out of this world. And we are not going for the victim mentality, like ever. But there's no way that it's fair. There's no way that it's fair. But it just is. The amount of violence, ancestral trauma, energetic waste, abuse that people have to go through, it's not comparable. It's a very different journey. And it takes a lot to reprogram, to decondition. A lot. Now, if that is or was you in any kind of way, I see you deeply, deeply. And what I will say, and what I'm here to remind you of, is that your greatest power will always be in remembering who the fuck you are. Okay? With love and compassion for where all versions of you had to go through before you knew who you really are. A lot of people have no idea what it is to build yourself up from absolutely nothing. And I don't talk just money. From rags to riches is fun compared to a lot of other things. In a lot of cases, to say to people that have lived a lifelong of extreme circumstances that were often outside of their own control, to then just say that everything is a mirror, that you create your own reality, to just work and manifest harder, is disrespectful. Because that's not the issue. And there are many, many layers to it. But listen, even when everything was fighting against you, the fighting in the now will only ever stop when you stop fighting yourself. In learning how to rest in adversity, how to calm yourself down in the struggle. Okay? Maybe it's not fair, but I'm still here. There's great, great power in seeing the magic of this world, being grateful. It's all available to us. It really is. Yeah, be grateful. There's so much to be grateful for. But you don't have to gaslight yourself into feeling things that you don't actually feel in the moment. Comparing yourself to the worst situations out there to force yourself into this feeling of being grateful and happy. Or comparing yourself to the best situations out there, what they seem to be, and then you don't feel good enough. It doesn't matter where you compare yourself with. It will never fundamentally change anything about your own experience. That is the only thing your focus should be on, without judging yourself. At the end of the day, you still have to deal with your actual experience in the now moment, which is about how you relate to life itself in any given circumstance. You're always manifesting the relationship that you have with life itself. So at least let it be real, let it be honest. That's the foundation to build from. Some days it's rainbows and butterflies, where you are bathing in love and light. Enjoy that to the fullest. Suck the narrow out of it. Other days you might be fed up, where you don't see a reason to keep going. Sometimes that's where you're at. It's just an experience. You just say, I'm fucking pissed, but I'm still going. Just laugh in the face of adversity. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. And when I die, I at least die with a smile on my face. Niet grappig. Now, let's digest the whole kill your old self, kill your old frequency, destroy the ego thing. Man. You don't have to kill your old self, your old frequency. No. Absolutely the fuck not. That's ghetto. I don't like that language. Because it might be the exact reason why parts of you are holding on so tightly. Why would a part of you peacefully let go when you are trying to destroy it with violence? Why would you want to kill a version of yourself that carried you through some of the darkest moments of your life? Would you go without kicking and screaming when you have served a person for a lifetime, for that person to then want to kill you like you are nothing? That version of you is not the enemy. That version was there to protect you. It was the one that carried you through life when you had no tools, no guidance, no safety, no roadmap to navigate the things that you had never experienced before. Now, maybe the behaviors and the patterns are no longer aligned with the life that you are now stepping into. But that version was doing the best it could with the tools that it had at the time. So no, I don't believe we have to kill anything. I believe in honoring the version of yourself that kept you alive when survival was the only language that you knew. We must thank that version for getting us here and then given another assignment, so a more evolved version of us can take the lead. From that renewed awareness, we can simply say, you don't have to protect me anymore. I got us from here. And if he or she is popping back up again, sometimes we just have to repeat ourselves because it's gonna happen. So we just say, you can let go. I got us. Well, we remember deeper and deeper who we really are before that version needed to take charge. Okay, let me think how I'm going to put this all together because it's all interconnected. Let's go into authentic manifestation and why that is so important. Because it has everything to do with remembering who you really are. First of all, I heard some people talking about authenticity where they create this whole new story around it saying that authenticity isn't even real because you are changing in every in every moment. We are constantly changing as people. That's the whole point. And that is why the definition of authenticity for me is, first of all, knowing who you are and having the courage and the freedom within yourself to express anything that feels most true and alive in the now moment, because there is only now. So, in the now, do you allow yourself to be enough and to be fully seen in all that you are, especially when that is what you actually deeply desire? Now, the manifestation part. Why it's so important to be authentic if you want to create a life of fulfillment. Because your desired reality is not somewhere else. You are not creating it from nothing. You are remembering it. You are reconnecting with it, with a deeper truth. The state, identity, frequency already exists within your consciousness. Manifestation is revelation rather than creation. That is why self-knowledge, remembering who you are, is the foundation. Remembering what? That there's a part of you that transcends the human experience. That you are part of something greater that is trying to experience itself through you. And that to know yourself deeply is what allows your full participation in its creation. Nee, een grapje. Waarom ben je zo? You are part of something greater that is trying to experience itself through you. And that to know yourself deeply is what allows your full participation in its creation. What does that mean? Remembering who you are beneath all of it. Your true essence. Beneath insecurities, fear, conditioning, past experiences. Remembering that there is trust and flow available beneath survival mode. Remembering the identity, the version of you that you keep abandoning when the world around you doesn't look the way you want it to look. Well, it's nothing more than a lagging indicator of your previous consciousness selection. Behaviors, habits, patterns, beliefs. Why do we use that information, that data, to make conclusions about who we are and what is possible for us? We must only use it to make conclusions about what we are still in agreement with. Then change the contract. Rip it apart. We have clause in this life. Rip up the contract. Now, forced manifestation, when you are not anchored in yourself, becomes frustration. Yep. This whole comeback and being back online has cracked me up. It has brought me some serious joy, to be honest. But the manifestation content nowadays is like, you never have to work for money again. You are infinitely abundant. Just manifest. Abundance is your birthright. See, people in the comments like, I already quit my job. What do I do now? What is the next step? But back to the story. There's more to it, but when I feel like things aren't working for me, I'm not going to force myself into believing that they do, because they are obviously not. I mean, I can see it not working. At least not yet. In that case, I just remind myself that I can choose which story around it I want to accept. Another girl online Oh, that was so funny. She was like, lately, absolutely nothing has been working out the way that I wanted to do work out. And that only means one thing: I'm being upgraded. Ah! It means that the planet is bigger than me. Ah! That means that the universe don't let me sabotage myself. Let's fucking go. And I was like, hell yeah, she's right. Change the contract, rip it apart. It is the meaning that you give to it. It is the story that is attached to the thing that you are observing. That's it. You don't have to gaslight yourself and fool yourself into seeing things that you obviously are observing not to be as you want them to be yet. There was one guy in the comments. What if you are being downgraded? Hey, that's your story, not mine. I'm being upgraded over here. Anyways, let's go. Oh, shut up. If any belief feels too big for where you're at in the moment, you can say, okay, maybe I don't believe that it's working for me yet. But can I believe that it's working on me as a catalyst for deeper remembering? To prime me into the person that I came here to be? Maybe it's working on me. Bamboo grows under the ground for 3 to 5 years. And then it shoots out of the ground like it has always been there. And then within 3 months, you can build a whole eco village with it. All is memory based. What you see and experience in the now moment is a lagging indicator of your previous memory, thoughts, beliefs, behavior. And in every now moment, you can change those things. How? By choosing something else and creating new memories. Or is that too deep? Makes sense to me. We need to stop abandoning ourselves in the pursuit of becoming. It's about coming back home to your inner throne that you've left to survive. Thuiskomen. You are always manifesting. That's not the point. You don't have to force manifestation. It's like breathing. We don't have to obsess over techniques, frequencies, tools, rituals, trying to control reality every 5 seconds. The real question is, what place within yourself are you manifesting from? Because if your baseline is fear, survival, self-rejection, abandonment, your manifestations will carry that same frequency. That's why there are a lot of people that get everything they thought they wanted and still feel empty when they finally arrive there. And I speak from experience here. The focus was never supposed to be only outward. It was supposed to be inward first. Because when you become aligned with your own inner truth, when your soul finally feels safe again to fully land within your body, your reality starts reflecting that back automatically. Change the contract, rip it apart. Not because you forced yourself, life, or the universe into doing that, but because you stopped fighting yourself within your own inner space. And that is where you will find a place within yourself that finally feels like home. Most people will never find the way back because they are too busy with fighting and forcing the effect instead of looking at the root and the cause. I have done and tried a lot. And knowing who I am at a soul level is the only thing that drastically changed my life. That is why I've spent a decade on studying all those systems because everyone is coded. Everyone came in with a specific assignment for life here on earth. Your soul map, your blueprint, isn't something that is given to you randomly. It's a specific configuration of coding, experiences, contracts that your soul, your consciousness has to move through. And that is not about punishment or because you deserve it, but it is because it creates a certain kind of friction that is needed to create the being that only you can be. Meaning that the world needs you exactly as you are without the distortions. The more out of touch you are with your original way of being, the more friction is needed to bring you back into alignment with it. And we always hold the person as growing, evolving, alive, not as a fixed configuration, but it's a mirror, it's an instruction manual. Integration of that knowledge, of that data, is what catapults your life into the next level. Pew! And look, the industry often freezes people into labels because it's easier to sell certainty than sovereignty. These systems were never meant to be cages or labels. They were maps of potential, inner structure, coherence, soul alignment. There's a huge difference between saying this is what you are by default, this is your destiny, there's nothing you can do about it, and saying here's the structure, the architecture that you arrived with. This is how consciousness, shadow, distortion patterns, development, choices are interacting with your specific configuration so you can optimize. And let me be clear, shadows, distortion patterns are not flaws or things that need to be fixed. They are the needed friction that allows growth. They are the keys to your desired reality. A reality that is congruent with who you really are. It is about compression. It's like taking raw energy and putting it under pressure so it becomes something structured, precise, and above all, sustainable. Clause. If you remove that pressure, you wouldn't get the same result. And that is where self-development and optimization comes in. When done from love, it's no longer betrayal of the self, but the refinement of it. Spirituality is our essence. It's not something that we become because we wear feather earrings and beaded bracelets. Neither it's something we believe in. It's something that exists without it needing us to believe in it. God, source, higher intelligence, soul contracts is not about having an opinion. You're either tapped in or you're not. But I don't have to tell you that. You are infinitely abundant. Just manifest. Abundance is your birthright. But I say that to say this: everything is coded by that higher intelligence. Your body, your perception, your mind. But if it's coded, it means that we can recode it. But in order to be able to recode it, you need to know the base code. When survival and adaptation distorts the signal, we become disconnected from our essence, from the ability to remember who we really are. At the same time, being tapped in also doesn't mean that we are floating above reality. It means that we are so anchored in the truth of who we are that your essence takes form in physical reality. That is where we get soul aligned manifestation. The work isn't about becoming more spiritual. The work is about removing interference with that what you already are. Remembering who we are in essence means that we become deeply anchored in who we are, integrated, embodied in who we are, so we can fulfill our soul missions, our deepest desires, highest aspirations and dreams. It all starts with who you are in essence. Most people, when asked, "Who are you?" reach for surface level identities, their name, their hobbies, work, personality traits, or even their traumas. The question we always get is, "What do you do?" Who gives a shit? Let it speak for itself. I had no idea that this video would take so long, so in the middle I got picked up, went out to dinner, and now I'm back because I'm not ready yet. Need to get the energy a little bit up. Inner space. Remember who you are. Honor your inner space. Most people, when asked, "Who are you?" say okay. Out of breath. You know how many people never really get to know themselves? We often get asked, "What do you do?" I like to ask, who are you beneath all of it? Beneath the roles, the character that you play? Who are you beneath the roles? If you ask 9 out of 10 people, "Who are you?" they answer with things like, "I play pickleball, and I like to go out in the weekends." Yeah, but who are you? "I like vodka." It's not funny. If you then say, "What are you?" now then they are completely lost. But the truest answer doesn't come from identity. It comes from essence. From the highest plane of truth. Who are you? As in the unique expression of the infinite intelligence as it flows through your particular form. Not your doing, but your magnificent being. The song that your soul sings. The flavor of light that you carry. the tone of your presence, the answerless essence that you came here to be, not to explain. That is why I don't like labels, because I feel that the only reason we need them is for others to make sense of who we are. It creates this false narrative of safety and separation. And at the same time, sometimes we need them to move through this dense world. But I just am. Now, what are you speaks to function, purpose, architecture. You're one out of billion blueprint. One out of billion blueprint. It's not what you do, but what you are here to activate, catalyze, touch, embody. For example, we often look at special need children as if they are a mistake or some kind of error in nature. But in essence, they could be a connector, changing family dynamics and threads within a lineage at a core level, being a divine interrupter of dysfunction. That's not a mistake. That's a very intelligent blueprint. Unless they are messing with kids on purpose from the outside, giving them unnecessary vaccines, jabs, pokes. If you look closely enough, you will uncover that the signature of God is written over all its creation. And yet, there are so many people that are spending their whole lives disconnected from the very intelligence that shaped them. That is why I have been obsessed with decoding human nature for most of my life. And that is why I've created my own synthesis that connects people back to the truth of who they are. As a result of that, they know exactly who they are, why they are here, and how to position themselves in a way that their success and fulfillment becomes inevitable as a result of integrated inner truth and awareness. Out of trying a million different things, always being on this search for something I knew was there, but I couldn't touch it. Forcing myself into misalignment, building a business, guiding others for most of my life. This is the only thing that made a real difference. Not only for me, but for many others. It is what made all the difference, to be precise. Now, why is that important? Because you are part of a larger body, of an ecosystem. And we all came in with not only the opportunity to experience, explore self and life, but also with a base coding and a gift. You are the gift. But you carry a gift that only has been given to you. And that is what it makes it so unique and important. We often think that our gifts are ours. But what if they don't only belong to us? What if it's something that the Creator moves through you into the world so it can reach others? Maybe that's where suffering begins, when we resist what is trying to move through us. When something meant to move through you gets trapped inside, it turns into pressure. And therefore, it's on the other side where you will find relief. When you unlock that, what only has been given to you, that is where you reach totality, deep fulfillment, completion, the highest expression of your soul. It's your unique signal. Wow, I will leave this in there. You can see how crazy I am. So, two questions: who are you and what are you? If you are consistently starting to ask yourself those questions, your life starts to organize itself around a deeper truth. And when that shift starts happening on a spiritual and somatic level, it is key to prepare your space, remove distractions, support your body, observe, do not force, but integrate. Ask yourself consistently, not what I want to pull in, not what I want to create, not what I want to manifest, but what am I consciously and unconsciously reinforcing in every now moment? The remembrance of who I really am, or the attachment to all that I am not? Because all people that are continuously and consistently are manifesting their deepest desires have one thing in common, and that is that they have remembered something about themselves. Look around. Do you like what you see? Don't judge. Feel, observe, redirect yourself, and experience something new in every now moment. Change the contract, rip it apart. I was searching for the right words. That's why I sometimes have to change my wording, because I'm still learning the deeper etymology of certain words, and it's very interesting. But let's continue. It's not for now. Deepening the relationship that you have with yourself is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and the world. It's like feeding two birds with one seed. I don't like the killing one. That one's ghetto. Why would you want to kill birds? As you start to remember, knowing is no longer conceptual. You will feel it in every cell of your body, and you won't have to think about manifestation anymore. And let thinking be the exact problem here, because it's not about thinking, it's about feeling, being exactly who you are. The less you interfere with the truth of who you are, the faster your whole system finds coherence again. From that coherence, your mind finally quiets down enough for you to hear the voice of your soul again. That's where your intuition becomes sharp. Decision making becomes easy. And your direction, your next step, reveals itself naturally. You stop forcing yourself through life because you can finally hear what is aligned and what isn't. And from that place, everything you truly desire becomes an inevitable byproduct of inner coherence and outer alignment.
The quality of your inner space determines the quality of your entire existence.
You create space so that things can move again. And right there, you decide that whatever you want is already done because it's done by your will.
Embodiment is a rental paid with the current of integrated.
And when you truly believe that, you will trust the timing. Not your timing, God's timing. Sky Daddy. Sky Daddy's time. Okay? And I'm also reminding myself. Inner space, outer world. We are the projection. Our life is the screen. So we just have to ask ourselves, what are we consistently projecting onto that screen? And your past is just a figment of your imagination. So what are we going to project onto it moving forward? Get that down, get that into practice, because there is no way in the world that if you are doing that, implementing that, integrating that, that your life isn't going to drastically change. You will start trusting life again when you remember that you can trust every new chapter. Because in every now moment, you are no longer just watching your life, your film, but you are actively writing and projecting it. That's it for now. See you next time. Honor your inner space and carry yourself with grace. Must not forget that. See you next time.
The power you're searching for is the one you stop trusting. Remember who you are. Inner space, Aoki. Inner space, say okay.